Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome to Punch and Roll. Hey, welcome to Punch and Roll, everybody. We are oh God, now I've got audio in too many places. There we go. So I told you we had technical problems. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Punch and Roll, an interactive tabletop role-playing live show featuring some of the best audiobook narrators working today. Rachanee Lumayno cannot join us today. She might get into the chat later on, but she cannot get into the booth to join us. So while my character is busy bleeding out on the grocery floor, I'm going to be stepping in to GM this session. You might not be able to see Crystal Hammond, but she is here. She will be an audio presence to delight us in our ears, which she does fabulously as an audiobook narrator. So it'll be fine for D&D as well. A reminder, Punch and Roll is interactive. You, the chat, you get to be part of the story. Drop your suggestions into the chat. If I can incorporate them, I will. And if I can't, it'll be saved for a future episode. Punch and Roll is sponsored by Audiobook Empire, a full-service audio production company. If you are a narrator, they have something special for you. Check the show notes below. We are produced by PANA, the Professional Audiobook Narrators Association. PANA provides support for new and established audiobook narrators while raising awareness in the public consciousness of the importance of human narrators in storytelling. Learn more about us at pronarrators.org. And now for a quick recap of last session and the perilous predicament that the party finds itself in. Take it away, Rachel.
Well played.
All right. Well, last time we were engaged in an epic battle against a very mouthy Karen, and she has enticed Sticky away from us. And through a couple of completely unavoidable incidents, Sticky is now down and fighting for his life. I have attempted to revive him with Ganesh, but it didn't work. So we are trying a couple more things as the Karen yells at us and as the manager keeps asking what's going on, and we're not going to pay attention to him.
Excellent. Yes, this is indeed what is going on. You are standing in this grocery with a frighteningly vampiric Karen. Sticky lies on the floor with Lazuli's hand axe buried deep in his chest.
Oh, I did do that, didn't I?
Oh, you did do that. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I'm quite proud of that.
And as you stand there, I was going to say as you stand there in horror, but clearly as you stand there in pride.
Well,
unavoidable incidents.
It was necessary. It was. But as you are standing there pondering what to do next,
yes.
your vision begins to fade. Things begin to go gray. The sounds of the grocery store fade away. That particular sort of smell that all grocery stores have fades away as well. The first thing to come back is smell. You smell butter, garlic, toasted nuts, sugar, baked bread.
Gotcha.
And as your vision returns, you find yourself standing on a grassy field. There's a little stream running off about 15, 20 feet away, merrily sort of tinkling along over rocks and pebbles. A blue sky with puffy white clouds floating overhead. And it smells amazing.
I'm on a diet right now.
It is a weird smell for a meadow. Yes, it is a weird smell for a meadow. And it's not just the smell that's weird. Something about the texture of the grass you're standing on feels a little odd. It's spongier than it should be. And that stream off ahead, the colors a little wrong. The patches of brown dirt that you can see through the grass, the texture seems off a little bit.
Maybe
you actually
wizard tower.
You actually feel a little strange too, not quite yourselves. You look over and you see that all of your wounds from the previous battle are healed. Those of you who cast spells, you feel your energy rejuvenated. The only thing not having you sort of in complete and perfect complete and perfect health is Leslie, your hand axe is missing.
Yes, it is.
But other than
Disappointing.
that, it is as if nothing has happened. What would you guys like to do?
Do I have 2 quarterstaffs or 1 again?
You have 2 quarterstaffs.
The two were because it was broken, right?
Yes.
You
yes.
broke it.
Yes.
I was helping you, dear. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Criminetly. Great. Let's see. What do I have?
I want to lean down and just grab a fistful of the grass and pull it up like I'm in the outfield at a little league game.
Yeah. So you reach down, you grab, you getting the dirt underneath or just the grass?
The dirt.
All right. So you reach in, and as soon as your hand hits the dirt, you know what that feeling is. You pull it away, and the sense memory you got from your fingers is spot on. You are holding in your hand not a clod of dirt, but a ripped out handful of brown bread. The grass sticking out of it, you can get the smell now that it's up closer to you. That is not grass. It is marzipan. It is little almond candy grass sticking up out of here.
I'd like to investigate the stream.
Sure. Heading over to the stream, you can see as you get closer, the color is a little on the golden side. The smell of butter increases. That stream is a stream of clarified butter. And there are what you thought at first were weeds growing alongside the stream, but they are herbs. You see patches of tarragon and basil and all sorts of beautiful smelling herbs at the side of this water.
I'm gonna eat the brown bread because it smells good and I don't have self-control.
It is delicious. It is delicious. As you are standing there, munching on the dirt, a couple of the rocks nearby begin to shift a little bit. And they sort of raise up a little bit. They turn, and you see tiny little eyes open, and you realize that these things that you took for sort of small fist-sized rocks are actually biscuits hanging out. And one of them is kind of waddling over to you and says, "Oh, hello. Have you come to help us?"
Help you?
Yes, we need help. And then the other biscuits, yes, help, yes, help. There are now 4 of these biscuits sort of starting to crowd in on you, all chanting for your help.
Oh, what's going on?
Yes.
Well, we don't know. It's been bad. Yes, it's been bad. The last, while things have been growing bad. Can you help us, please?
Growing bad. Can you help us understand a little more?
Well, normally, it's the way you see it here, lovely and delicious. I'm glad you're enjoying the ground. It's very tasty. Bobby over there is especially tasty. And then one of the biscuits is like, yes, I'm very delicious.
I spit out the brown bread.
But lately, things have gotten bad. They're growing wrong. They smell rotten.
Can you point us to where this started, my young friend?
We can walk you there.
I think that would be an excellent idea.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Please come. Yes, please come. Yes, please come. And then Bobby the biscuit is like, you could have a taste of me. I'm delicious.
Well, all right, if you insist.
Are you eating Bobby the biscuit?
I reach my hand out to Bobby and...
He hops onto your hand.
Oh, shnikes, I have to just chew him. That's not what I was expecting. Can I take a little bit of your backside, dear?
Oh, sure.
All right, and I take a bit of backside and eat it, and oh, my stars! That is perfection.
I'm glad you enjoy me.
Very much, dear. Now let's go help you. Lead on.
All right. So the biscuits sort of waddle along, leading you for a good couple miles. So it's about it's a little bit of a walk, and as you are proceeding along, the smell does begin to change. You notice. Yes, Emmy in the chat says it is hard to walk without a backside. It's true. Bobby is falling behind.
It was a small morsel, I promise.
The smell is losing that that robust, unctuous smell of butter and baked goods. Instead, you're starting to pick up smells of that sort of bad fridge smell, when something's gone off and you're not quite sure what it is. And then as you come up over the crest of a hill, you look down the hill, down that slope of grass, you can see spread out in front of you a swamp. It is in the middle, is stretching all the way to the left as far as you can see, all the way to the right as far as you can see. This fetid, nasty, decaying swamp. You see trees that perhaps at one point were baguettes, but now are covered in mold. Thick tangles of brambles that seem to be sort of hardened, stale noodles. Vines that are ropes of licorice, but with giant thorns sticking out of it. You can even from time to time see the rustles of creatures. And yes, Spencer has suggested in the chat that there is a decided odor of corn syrup coming up off of the the pools of stagnant liquid that you can see. And the biscuits say, in there, it started in there.
I thank you, young friends, for leading us here. Indeed, we will investigate this and see if we can't help you. Gaelish? You down? User? Oh. Well, that's excellent, for it's not my favorite, so I'll let you lead, Gaelish.
All right. And so into the swamp you go. What we're going to do to get through the swamp is we're going to run a skill challenge to see whether you can successfully make it through the swamp to find the heart of the swamp and the center of this corruption. Here's the way this goes. Players, you tell me what challenges you're facing and how you plan to overcome them through your skills or through your tool proficiencies. You could, for example, say that if you have carpenter's tools, that you use carpenter's tools to cut down a tree to fall over a big river of moldy corn syrup so you can climb over it. Or perhaps if there is some sort of creature living here, you might, through animal handling, persuade it to stop threatening you. It is up to you how you choose to use your skills. The only thing is they need to be plausible. So you can't say use persuasion to make a rock disappear. That's not going to work. But as long as you can make a case for your skill, I'll let it happen. If you, as a team, manage 6 successes, you will make it to the center of this swamp and find the source of the corruption. But if before you get your 6 successes, you get even 3 failures, you will have failed the challenge, and something bad may happen to you. And chat, please feel free to kick in your ideas for the consequences that will befall our adventurers if they fail their skill checks.
Ooh. All right. So just to clarify,
Yes.
we're saying what it is we're overcoming, or you're giving us obstacles and we're becoming creative in our solutions?
You are being creative in your obstacles and the solutions. However, you are navigating your way through the swamps. There's marsh, there's mud you might sink into, there's brambles, there might be ravines you have to cross, there might be animals that are threatening you, all manner of things. Whatever you might encounter in this swamp of corrupted food, you will tell me what you're confronting. So, yeah, Emmy in the chat has suggested perhaps a giant pool of really smelly cheese. The only rule is that if anyone repeats a skill that someone else has used or that you yourself have used, the difficulty is going to increase.
So by using
So for example, if one person uses, say, survival to try to chart a course through the swamp, the next person who tries to use survival will find it more difficult.
Well,
Spencer in the chat is suggesting that some vines might need burning, or perhaps you could char some bread to harden it into a boat.
Interesting.
Ooh, I could roll Arcana on that.
All right. So why don't we go ahead and start? We'll start with Yuza. Yuza, you're going to use Arcana to try to use your fire magic to burn a boat.
To create a little bread bowl for us.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make an Arcana roll for us.
23.
23. Yeah, no problem. You find a larger, a somewhat freakishly large bowl of bread that has gone completely stale, and you are able to that flame around it char the outside, so that as you drop it into this river of corn syrup meandering through the swamp, it is able to support your weight and keep you floating, and you're able to get a fair distance in before the corn syrup starts to sink into your bread boat, and you find you have to abandon it. That is one success. Lazuli, what are you doing?
Well, I see in front of me wild tangling. I think they were once green beans, but now they are very flayed and with fibers in all directions, and every now and then a bean pops out, and it's very dangerous.
The beans are very sharp. One flies past you, almost gives you one of those, dramatic little cuts across your cheek.
Just what I needed. And so I think I'd like to. Oh, I have an idea.
Yes.
This is maybe I'm setting a task for someone else, but Gaelish, didn't you say you had camouflage abilities? Could you think you could camouflage and stealth your way through?
Well, that could be what Gaelish does.
Could be what Gaelish does.
What is
now I have
Lazuli
come up
doing
with
to
one
help out?
I need to do. Yes,
But
yes.
Gaelish, why don't you, while Lazuli's thinking of what to do?
Yes.
Wow, Emmy is going to town in the chat. Not only has she suggested a giant pool of stinking cheese, there are giant rotten meat slabs with evil maggots that could eat you, and you have to somehow get past them.
Oh.
Lazuli, don't you have amazing athletics?
I do. I was just thinking. I was going to use athletics on the green beans, and then I realized Gaelish was better for it. But perhaps with the meat and the maggots, I could pummel my way through.
All right.
With a good right hook and a good left hook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tenderize that meat.
Yeah, pounding this meat down, trying to kill the maggots on it, trying to make it safe to walk across. Go ahead and make that athletics check.
That would be an 18.
That is a second pass as you just sort of
Thank you, Emmy.
smash those maggots down, so you are able to safely pass across this smelly field of meat. And now we come to Gaelish. Gaelish, were you wanting to somehow use your stealth skill? Ooh, what does Green Mantle do?
That's brilliant, dear.
Eating the green beans.
Excellent. Oh, we're hearing in the chat that we cannot hear Gaelish.
Oh, no.
All right. So what Gaelish is doing is Gaelish is using an ability to transform their body into a giant green bean. And using this to safely get the party through. Gaelish, go ahead and roll. This doesn't sound like stealth. To me, this sounds like you were trying to imitate a green bean. This sounds like performance to me. Gaelish, give me a performance check, please.
Okay. So you don't want me to roll the spell. You just want me to roll performance.
Are you proficient in performance?
No.
Tell you what, since you're using a spell, add your proficiency to it. So go ahead and add, I think your proficiency is 2. So add 2 to whatever your performance roll is.
Okay.
Oh, and the chat says that we can hear you now.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay, so I'm rolling performance. Okay, so oops. Plus 2 is 4. I did not roll the spell, just to be clear.
Okay. So so you use the spell to transform yourself into a green bean, and you begin to lead the party through. And for a while it works, where the green beans seem to not notice your presence. But then they figure it out. You are not an actual green bean, and you see these green bean stalks twist and turn to you, and they start shooting out their beans at you, one after another, and you each take 2 points of piercing damage as beans riddle into your bodies, and you burst out of the bean field, but with lots of cuts and scrapes from all those beans. That is your first failure.
Sorry.
And we are back round. We're back round to Yuza.
All right. So after all of the green bean extravaganza, I see there's a piece of, I think it was at one point Swiss cheese, because there's a lot of holes, but the holes have started to get a lot bigger than originally intended. So I'm going to roll acrobatics for getting across this slice of cheese.
Oh yeah, you've wandered into this ravine, and there's just these weird slices of old smelly giant Swiss cheese. Yeah, and you can dive through those holes. Perhaps if you brush up against the holes, they might be a little toxic. So absolutely use some acrobatics to see if you can get through there.
Lord, there goes my
20.
What, 20?
Yep.
Yeah, diving and bopping through like one of those heist movies where there's the laser beams and people are cartwheeling and sliding around. You avoid the smelly, toxic Swiss cheese, and you help the rest of your party through as well. Now that you've charted a safe path, you all are at 3 successes, so you're halfway there, but still 1 fail to your name. What is Lazuli going to do to help?
Well, Lazuli was intending to use acrobatics, but
you can still do it. You can still do it if you want to. It will just be harder.
It will be harder. Does that mean disadvantage?
No, it just means that the DC, the difficulty class of the check, has gone up a little bit.
Oh, well. Well, okay, so what I saw in front of me was a sharp, spiky field. It looks like at one point it was perhaps peanut brittle or peppermint bark or something, but now it's all bite and no bark, or the other way around. Yeah, no, bite, no bark. That is correct, yes. And I was thinking of using acrobatics to do something similar.
Sure to keep from stepping on those razor
Yes.
sharp slabs of brittle that are sticking up out of the ground.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
Oh, Lord. That's not going to do it. That's a 9.
No, a 9 does not do it. Unfortunately, you guide the party out onto this field of razor sharp peanut brittle, and all of a sudden you start to hear ow, ow, ow from behind you as this brittle is so sharp it's protruding through into your feet.
Oh, dear.
You all take another 4 points of slashing damage.
Creepers, sorry,
from
friends.
this field of brittle. That is your second failure. You still need 3 successes, and you must avoid any further failures. Emmy in the chat is suggesting there might be giant sheets of iced over frozen leftovers that you somehow have to navigate across.
I love Emmy's mind. It's a beautiful thing.
I love Emmy's mind too. I am slightly biased in that I am married to Emmy's mind. But,
that's a good point. That's a good point, yes.
Gaelish, what are you going to do to help the party pass through? Oh. Okay, hang on. Yeah, absolutely. The chat has lost you. So you're seeing these animals that used to be steaks, but now they seem to be animated and alive. Is that what you're saying? Yes, and they are they're starting to crawl menacingly towards you, and you're going to use animal handling to try to get them to calm down and let you pass. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So, Gaelish, go ahead and roll that animal handling check.
I got an 8.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Unfortunately.
Well, there go my ideas. Oh,
unfortunately,
dear.
this you go up to these crouching stakes with the little bones sticking out as little legs. And you go up to them and you're like, nice steaks, it's okay. And there's this pause, and then whoosh, they charge at you all, and they ram into you, and they actually knock you into this flowing stream of corn syrup that washes you down, and you're tumbling and you're flailing. It's very hard to keep your head above water. You are gasping for breath. You are bouncing off boulders made of stale bread. You feel scrapes of something sharp underneath scratching across. The good news is that after and this corn syrup river, you begin to hear over the sound of your going ouch, ouch, ouch as you bounce along these rocks. You begin to hear a rumbling noise, and suddenly you are falling off a corn syrup waterfall, splashing down into this awful fetid pool. You drag yourself to the shore. Amazingly, you do not take damage from this fall.
That is amazing.
But you all, having failed the skill challenge, you all take 1 level of exhaustion.
How?
I will tell you the effect of that level of exhaustion.
Okay.
Any skill checks that you make for the remainder of this session until you can take a rest will be made at disadvantage.
Oh, Lord. Oh, no.
You just had to stab him, Lasley. You had to do it.
I did.
You pull yourself up on a field of brown, dead grass. This feels like salad greens that have gone to slime.
Oh.
And
your mind is a special thing, young man.
It is. Oh, it is. You look at your body. I mean, you must have the chat is saying this episode's title will be Sticky's Revenge. You look at your arms to see the damage. I mean, you bounced into so many rocks. You felt scrapes and scratches. You must be brutalized. Your arms and leg, you seem fine. You're poking at what is going on. I would like anyone who likes to roll either investigation or medicine to try to assess what has happened to your bodies.
I rolled a 12 for investigation.
11 for medicine.
How is your D20 so weighted down? Jeepers.
I don't know. I'm in the same program you are.
Do we also have to do disadvantage for these?
Oh, yes, you do, because they are skill checks.
Why did I say anything? These were bad enough. Oh, that would have been lovely.
Lucy in the chat is suggesting this episode is being sponsored by Big Corn. I don't think Big Corn would be happy with how we're characterizing corn syrup. We are losing potential sponsors left and right in this.
We are really good at that, guys.
So what did your final rolls turn out to be?
12 investigation.
And the medicine?
I need to roll it again, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it won't be more than 11.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, it was 11. The next one was 18.
So you're not quite sure you can put your finger on exactly what has happened, but the consistency of your skin, the closest thing you can think of it is dough. And the scrapes and scratches along your arm, you can see the tear in your arm where there should be blood coming out. It's not.
So it's just sort of a gaping gap.
It's just sort of a gap, and you can kind of squish it closed, and it kind of closes up again.
We're Jell-O.
My mother always told me to not eat so much bread.
So something has happened to somehow transform your bodies. You still look the same, but the texture and behavior of your flesh is different.
If I take a piece and try and stretch it, what happens if I poke at it? Does it snap back like skin, or does it something else happen?
It pulls out more, but then when you let go, it snaps back.
Ew. So we're becoming marshmallows or something?
Or something.
Oh, Lord. Well, what's around us?
Indeed. You have arrived at what feels like the center of whatever is happening. There is an open clearing, perhaps 30, 40 yards across, with what should be a nice stretch of grass and wildflower, but all has gone to decay. It is nasty and slimy, and at the center there is a simple wooden shack, perhaps 7 by 7 or so, with a single door standing in it. Jenna in the chat is saying we might be at the Pillsbury Doughboy origin story. We may be.
Oh, no. Again, no sponsors. None.
Yeah.
No. All right.
Is there any sign that someone is in this shed thing?
At a distance of 20 yards, it's hard to tell. You'd have to approach.
Okay.
Then let's
want to approach?
Yes, I think we do. I think it is clear we are intended to entangle ourselves with whoever is in that. Yes.
Okay.
As we walk closer, can I roll a wisdom perception check on what we can hear?
Absolutely.
I have advantage on, which cancels out your disadvantage.
Yes, so it will just be a straight roll.
Please let it be good for once. I'll take it, a 16.
All right, a 16. You don't hear anything. Okay, you don't hear anything other than the sound of the waterfall behind you, the squish of your feet as you get closer. You hear nothing from the shed.
Nothing.
I will also say on that perception roll, as you get closer, you begin to notice that there are some carvings on the wood of the shack itself.
Would that be an investigation check?
No, you just have to get closer to see what they are. They're sort of, you know, when you go by like a tree and you see that somebody's like taken a penknife and sort of carved stuff, and that's kind of what it looks like. Some sort of handmade thing. You just have to get closer to see what it is.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Keep going.
As you get closer, you can see that this shack is in pretty bad shape. The wood is dried, and it looks like it might be sort of bleached out. The carvings that you can see are actually they're little hearts, little hearts with a logo inside that's kind of familiar to you. It is the stylized E of the Edison logo from the car that you fought. It's a little E logo in a heart, but it's been slashed over as if someone at first carved a little heart around an Edison logo and then perhaps thinking differently about, was it
the Franklin?
I believe we fought a Franklin.
A Franklin. My mistake. The Franklin.
Sorry,
Yes.
Graham.
Yes, it's an F. It's an F for Franklin and an F for me for failing to remember.
It's about time, son. You failed at something.
It's an F in a little heart that has it's then been slashed over.
Well, that's intriguing. And I still hear nothing, even standing that close to the shack.
You hear nothing.
And the ground is safe around the shack?
You are standing right there. Nothing has happened to you from the ground.
Well, is there a door?
There is one door in front of you, yes.
Is there a window?
There is not.
Can I burn a window?
Do it.
Sure. You can try.
That just Arcana again.
Yeah. Yeah, make an Arcana check at disadvantage because of your exhaustion.
Yep. Hang on. Disadvantage. 16.
All right, so you release a burst of flame onto that door, and the dried wood of the door catches very quickly.
Oh, dear.
And in short order, the planks sort of lose connection and fall down. Luckily, the fire did not spread to the rest of the structure, but the door itself has now collapsed and is sort of smoldering. And you can see now inside the shed, the strangest thing, that door opens into a hallway that is impossibly long, 60, 70 feet. It extends out into darkness.
Oh.
Into darkness. I have dark vision, which is 60 feet. What can I see?
What you see with your dark vision is a dusty corridor. You can just barely make out a door at the far end, and spaced evenly along the walls, first on the left, then on the right, then on the left again, then on the right, there seem to be picture frames. Oh, and Rachanee has joined the chat. Rachanee, you missed the swamp of horrible food, but
we failed it quite quickly.
But they are now making their way into a shack in the middle of a rotten swamp, made of rotten food, and yet in this shack there is a hallway of length that should not be, that extends well beyond the shack, and yet there it is. What would you like to do?
Enter it.
All right. As you step in,
you guys don't have to come with me, by the way.
Oh, I feel much safer with you and your axe. I'm coming with you.
Doesn't matter, axe.
All right.
You feel safe with the axe. I don't know that Sticky would agree.
Well, it's my hand axe that's in you. My great sword is in my pack.
So
before we go in, if there's still a little chunk of the door on fire, I'm going to kick it into the hallway, and hopefully it gets rid of some of the cobwebs and illuminates it a little more.
Yes, as that smoldering wood slides by, a number of cobwebs around the floor cinder, and you see those spots of flaming cobweb trail along the hall. And it does provide, for those without dark vision, just enough illumination to make out this shadowy hall with, as I said before, left, right, 4 large picture frames. One roughly every 15 feet or so as you go down this hall.
Oh, I hope there's not chocolate spiders.
That seems like a good hope.
And as you all step in, the smell, that fetid smell from the swamp, drifts away. There's sort of a dank sort of odor, but no smell. Even the color of that burning wood seems a little muted here, as if everything is just having all the colors seem to be having the saturation pulled out. You do not seem affected. You all seem normal, but that bright orange flame has now dimmed dramatically. I mean, I should say the flame is still there, but just the color has washed out.
I don't like this.
Well, we could always just go back out and burn it to the ground.
I'm never going to say no to that.
Though I have a feeling if we do that, this is a very short campaign.
Is that what you'd like to do?
I don't know.
No, we have to keep going.
We have to, but that's our backup plan. In the worst case scenario, we turn around.
We'll just run around and light it.
Yeah, that's our backup plan.
All right. So you're heading down the hallway?
Yes. Can we see what's going on with the pictures? And I believe Lazuli would like to just check and see if the pictures come off the wall or are a secret trap door or something.
Sure, absolutely. So you
That's
get to
reasonable.
you get to the first picture. And it is it's sort of covered with dust and cobwebs and whatnot. And as you sort of shake it to see it. It is, in fact, it could come off the wall if you wanted to take it off the wall. As you move it, a fair amount of dust sort of out into the air and off the picture, and you can make out now the figure in that first painting. It is a very familiar face. The round jowled face of that you have come to know as a Bracewith face. It looks like Sticky, but older, female. It could be his grandma, could be his mom, but clearly a relative of Sticky's, holding out in her hands a big wicker basket full of breads. There's a little bit of glow on this painting. This painting seems to be resisting the leaching of color that has affected the flames and the stonework in this corridor. You also notice there's a little brass plaque on the bottom of this painting.
What does it say?
It says, "To feed someone is to share a piece of your soul."
Well, that's lovely.
Hmm.
I feel like she and I would have been friends, actually.
Yeah, she has a very warm, friendly, caring vibe to her. Although the chat is finding it ominous.
No. No. This feels, I mean, well, that's what Emily's thinking, not what Laslie's thinking. But anyway. Also, I apologize for this little interloper. He just apparently needs to be held and jostled like a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Graham.
Sometimes that's how it goes.
Yeah,
It's your night.
when the booth pet needs attention, the booth pet needs attention.
This booth pet has been very needy of late. Anyway, can we keep walking to the next?
You certainly can. So you get to the next. Who's investigating this next one?
Me.
Okay, so Yuza, let me ask you, what is it that brings Yuza nourishment or comforts her soul?
New magic or a good campfire.
So this is a painting of a campfire that, lit as it is by firelight, almost seems to be shifting colors and shapes. And as you look at the painting, it seems every time you move your focus, the parts of the painting you're not looking at seem to shimmer and twist with fire. And you especially, Yuza, feel sort of think about the first times that you discovered you have an affinity to fire magic and the warmth and the comfort that flame provides. You feel that from this painting.
The first time I set the wizard's tower roof on fire.
Yes. In the background of this painting, you can see some robed wizards running in terror.
Excellent. I will kind of casually look around and start to try to pull it off the wall with me.
It does detach. You can bring it with you. I mean, it is large. It is, it is perhaps 5 feet high and 4 feet wide. It's a big one, but you can take it with you if you like.
Yes.
Okay.
It's mine now. I'm trying to look at my cantrips to see if I have a way of levitating it behind me or stowing it for later. I don't think I do. Most of my spells are fiery combat. No, I will just carry it in my hands for now until I choose not to anymore.
All right. Yeah, the chat is saying that this is a very practical choice to bring this large painting with you. I couldn't agree more.
It could have uses.
Yeah, you never know. All right. So you guys continuing on down the hallway?
Yes. This is
All right.
interesting.
So you come to the now the third of these paintings. Are you investigating this one as well?
Well, yes.
And who is investigating it?
Oh, it's Gaelish's turn.
So Gaelish, what is it that brings Gaelish nourishment or feeds their soul?
And the product.
Oh, hang on, Gaelish. Can you repeat that? Yeah.
I can repeat that. Wandering around the forest after a new to me animal and watching until they consume something and then produce something after consuming.
Excellent. Chat, did you all hear that? Oh, the chat's quiet. I don't know if the chat heard it.
The chat has a delay.
Oh, the chat has a delay. Okay. All right. So for the yeah, the chat heard it. So this is a painting of a lovely bucolic forest scene. The sun is setting. The animals are out and about. There is a particularly bizarre animal foreground. It is sort of small and rabbit-sized with sort of the rabbit haunches. The head is that of a tiny little bear. However, there are 3 antlers coming out of its head. Its tail is spiked, and it is nomming on a collection of chestnuts, and shall we say a collection of different kinds of chestnuts are coming out the other side.
It's so beautiful. It's so wonderful. I think, is this a painting on canvas, maybe? Well, I appreciate what Yuza is doing. However, I know, being a gnome, that it is much too large for me.
It is.
So I would like to take out a knife and cut the creature from the painting
Are you
as a memento.
Cutting the whole painting or just the creature?
I think just the creature so that I can put it into a pouch or something rather than having to hold the
Sure,
big
and as you take the knife to this canvas and begin to cut around, as you cut, the color, the beauty of that sunset in the sky, the red clouds against the purple background, all begin to fade.
Oh no.
In the same way that the color in the rest of this place seems to be fading, except for what you've cut, except for the thing that gives you comfort and joy, that strange animal with its lovely chestnut poop is still bright and vibrant as you roll it up and put it in your bag.
If I put it back, look, come back, I have as a spell. Can I see what happens if I put it back and do mending on it?
You can certainly give it a try.
Okay, I'm gonna try and fit it back in.
Yeah.
Because it's a pretty painting. I don't want all that color to go away, and also.
Oh, the irony.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! No! The fates have caused us to lose Crystal right as she's.
Can you see me? I can see you.
Crystal, yes, I can hear you, Crystal.
Reset their mic, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I can see everybody.
So
somehow.
Crystal, happily, the Gaelish's use of that mending spell does connect the animal back in, and the color then washes back into the painting.
Interesting. I think I'm gonna leave it for now.
Okay.
Because I don't want to make any more color fade from things. But I feel like this might be applicable to our larger situation somehow.
All right.
I'm just gonna back off and leave it alone for now.
All right. So leaving that painting on the wall, you guys continuing down the corridor?
Yes.
All right.
Although full disclosure, I can no longer hear Gaelish, so
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. All right. Well,
going to go
if,
fun.
if Gaelish his sound has dropped out, we will continue to pass on what Gaelish is doing. But as you come to the fourth painting,
Yes.
Lazuli, what is it that brings you comfort or feeds Lazuli's soul?
Oh, that's a good. It's family. It's, her dearly departed husband, Grange, and her children
So
and great-grandchildren.
what was her husband's name?
I believe it's Grange.
Grange?
Yes, that's
All
what
right.
I wrote many weeks ago. So I hope
Excellent.
that's his name.
Excellent. So yeah, it is a portrait of Lazuli's extended family, with Grange in the center, and all of your children and grandchildren. Are there great grandchildren, or is it just children and grandchildren?
There's one on the way.
There's one of the grandchildren has a bun in the oven, as it were, and you can see on the wall behind this collection of family, you can see other portraits of your ancestors who are looking on with joy and pleasure at this collection of family, and the feeling of belonging and unity and connection fills your heart.
Lazuli gently puts a hand on the painting, touches Grange's face, sighs deeply, and continues on toward the door.
And in the flickering firelight, it almost looks as if Grange's smile got a little extra warmth in it, right as you set your hand on that painting.
Oh, don't look too closly.
It's the dust that's making her cry.
The dust,
I'm sure.
And the well, I can't blame the low light and the dark vision. All right.
So you come finally to the door, a solid door this time, not flimsy boards as it was when you entered, but old oak bound with iron, and a heavy handle set on one side.
I would like to try the handle.
All right. You put your hand on the handle, and the door swings open with a creak and reveals a large, dimly lit banquet hall. The light is provided by a cook fire off on one side, whose embers are glowing, and casting light, a little bit of light out. You see these long tables stretching down this, again, perhaps 50, 60, 70-foot room that's perhaps maybe 30, 40 feet across, a large banquet hall that is absolutely devoid of color. And it is as if this room has been rendered in grayscale. The plates and the cutlery, dusty, cobweb covered, you can see are metallic and probably in a better light would be shimmering with gold and with silver and with platinum. But here all the colors seem to be washed out. Your eyes trail back in this room to the very far end where sort of the table of honor sits, and there sits Sticky. Also completely washed of color. Eyes open, but no flicker of life to them at all. He is mechanically he's holding a spoon and sort of mechanically dipping it down into this bowl and putting it to his mouth, but there is nothing in the bowl. There is nothing on the spoon. There is no expression in his face. Lazuli, your hand axe is embedded in his chest. That is where your hand axe is. Dust.
I suppose if I went and got it, it would not do well.
Dust, well, perhaps, but dust begins to swirl around him as the dust and cobwebs of this room start to twist around him and take shape, gradually revealing a large female face with this righteous, almost leering expression, these long pointed teeth, and it seems to shriek in a dusty voice, "Have you brought the manager?" You have recognized this face from the grocery store. I would like everyone please roll initiative.
Oh, all right, here we go again. What?
No, 22.
I
22
rolled
for
an
Yuza.
8.
Gaelish rolled 13.
This is the time to waste a low roll. Oh, do we have to do all that at disadvantage?
Yes, you do.
Well,
it is an ability check.
Why do I keep asking?
8.
But
Eight.
I don't know. Why do you keep asking?
It's my type 8.
All right, Lazuli is at 8. Yuza, what did your 22 turn into?
6.
A 6.
Oh.
Okay, and Gaelish, what happened to your 13?
It's a 5 now.
It's a 5 now.
Y'all, I'm so sorry.
Okay. So, the first thing that happens, get my initiative tracker set off over here. So the first thing that happens is a number of a bunch of the cutlery, the forks and knives, lift up into the air and come shooting forward. Lazuli, you are in the lead. They are shooting towards you. Can I
grab my shield?
I will let you grab your shield out, yes.
All right.
But that is a natural 20.
Oh,
so they
no.
definitely hit.
Oh,
and you
no.
take... I rolled pretty bad, but you still, because it is a critical hit, you take 4, 5, 6, and one more. You take 7 points of piercing damage as you get the shield up in time to take a couple of forks on the shield, but a number of steak knives and forks slash by you and cut through that dough-like skin. There is no blood, but you see a number of rips and tears in Lazuli's skin. And then a second swarm pops up from the other side and comes racing forward, heading at Gaelish this time. That is only a 5, though, to hit you, Gaelish. What did you do to dodge out of this swarm of cutlery heading your way?
I just kind of stumbled and fell, and it was lucky because that was surprising.
Yeah, Gaelish shrieking in terror, stumbling backward, tripping over Lazuli's foot, hitting the floor, but that allows this swarm of forks and knives to whiz right over your head. And that brings us now to Lazuli. What are you doing?
Clarify for me one thing.
Sure.
Is Sticky now Karen, or was it just sort of an illusion?
Sure. No, Sticky seems still to be there, still mechanically eating from his empty bowl. But there is this swarm of dust swirling around him that is manifesting the leering face of the Karen that you were fighting. That seems to currently be surrounding him.
I can't kill a dust storm with a great sword. Well, can I take my great sword and just smash into the table in front of me?
Sure, absolutely.
Great.
Make a hit roll on the table.
That's going to be a 16 on the table in front of me. This is Sticky's table, yes.
That hits the table. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right. That'll be 9 slashing damage.
9 slashing damage on the table. So you cleave off, and a sort of chunk of the end of the table breaks off as you splinter a part of the table away. It doesn't seem to react. The table itself does not seem to be animated, although perhaps it was, and you've killed it.
Well done, me. All right. That's it for me.
That's it
Sorry,
for you?
that's it. I'm not very exciting.
All right. At this point, the dust cloud the dust cloud disappears. The dust cloud sort of falls to the ground, but then you see it begin to swirl, and it is reforming next to you, as there is now this sort of dust cloud Karen. You can now see hands with claws beginning to manifest in the dust cloud as well. It is forming up next to you. Yuza, what are you doing?
I am going to use my painting like a giant fan while I cast Gust.
Well played.
Outstanding. Let's call this a shove attack, basically. Do roll, but you're a wizard. Give me just a basic, give me an Arcana check.
Okay.
And I'm going to have the Karen Dust Cloud roll Constitution to contest it. What did you get?
23.
It got a 19 on its Constitution, but that cannot withstand the 23. So you wave that picture and cast Dust Cloud, and perhaps feeling motivated by the picture of the Wizard Tower burning, you hear this as the Karen is temporarily disanimated in the gust of wind and driven backwards and unforms a little bit. Anything else you want to do in your turn?
How far are we from Sticky?
About 60 feet away.
I will start moving towards him then. I'm not going to get all the way.
All right. So running about halfway down in your turn. At the end of your turn, the Karen Mist is going to use another of its legendary actions to reform its body. Now, having identified Yuza as a threat, you guys see this body is reforming immediately behind her. Gaelish, what are you going to do?
So let me make sure I understand.
Yes.
Sticky is at the table.
Yes.
And he's all gray and stuff.
Yes.
And he is eating nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. And we've got cobwebs that are turning into Karen monster stuff.
Sort of all of the dust and everything that's in this room, yeah.
Okay. I would have asked my friends. Does anyone remember what Sticky's favorite food is? Or have any of his baked goods that he made? Did anyone stick a cookie in their pocket from earlier?
Do I have the ganache because I gave it to him after he's already knocked out? Or is it gone from my pocket?
It's gone.
Then I have nothing. We have good berries, I think.
I don't have anything, but do I remember what he gave us? Didn't he love a lemon loaf? Am I remembering that at all?
Yes, we had like a lemon pie.
Ooh, he did really enjoy the lemon cake.
Lemon cake, yeah. That was it. Yes.
I know I've stolen many a focaccia from him.
Do you have any focaccia left?
No, I ate it all in the parking lot.
All right, this is in the middle of combat, so I think that's all of the conversation I'm going to let you have at this point. Is there an action that you wanted to take?
I want to start running towards Sticky as well.
Okay. You could use your dash action to get all the way up to him, or are you just going to use your movement to run about halfway along?
I'll use my dash action. Why not?
I will tell you that will take you past the Karen that might get an opportunity attack if that's what you wanted to do.
I'll risk it. We'll see what happens.
So as you run past, was one of those misty claws reaches out to get you, and that is a 16 against your armor class.
That's gonna hit.
Okay. So you take from that claw, you take 6 points of slashing damage as the claw made of dust somehow is able to break through and penetrate down through your skin, which is still colored. Like you all still have a color, despite everything else in here being washed out. Okay, that was Galish's turn. At the end of Galish's turn, the smoke Karen creature is going to use its final legendary action to try to make a claw attack into Yuza's back, and that is an 18 against your armor class, Yuza.
Yep, that hits.
All right, so you take 4 points of slashing damage as you feel it rake through your back, and now it is the Karen Mist's turn. The mist is going to open its mouth and try to clamp down onto Yuza's shoulders. It uses its draining bite, and that is a 19 against your armor class.
That's also going to hit.
So you take 4 necrotic damage, and you guys see a little bit of color begin to leach out of that spot in Yuza's shoulder where the Karen's teeth sunk into.
Lord.
And that ends the mist's turn and brings us round to the top of the order where there is a swarm of cutlery still swirling around Galish. And a number of spoons now, Galish, are trying to smack you in the face, and they get a 21 on their attack.
Yeah, that hits.
No, I'm sorry, not Galish, not Galish. You got away from the swarms. They're around They're around Lazuli. Does a 21 hit Lazuli?
Yes.
All right, Lazuli, you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage as these spoons just dunk, 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 all over your head. We also now, that brings us to the count of 20 on the initiative order. So what is going to happen? What happens is smoke from the cook fire begins to pour out into the room, and I would like everyone, please, to make a Constitution saving throw. You do not have disadvantage on these, only ability checks.
It is 12.
That is a pass.
19 for Galish.
19 passes.
Yeah.
20 passes. Nice. So none of you are blinded by the stinging smoke that is now getting into your eyes. It is now the second swarm of cutlery, still at the entrance, so still trying now with some steak knives to cut into Lazuli. That is my second natural 20 in attacking Lazuli.
Oh my stars! It's karma. I know. I deserve it. I know.
Lazuli, I rolled very well. Not well for you. That is 10 points of slashing damage, Lazuli. And as these steak knives begin to cut deep into Lazuli, you guys can now see some light, like some golden light starting to shine out from some of those deeper cuts. And that brings us, Lazuli, to your turn.
Great. How close am I to the Karen dust swarm?
You're about 30 feet away.
How far can I move again? What is my movement?
You're a
25.
Dwarf, right? 25, yeah.
Walking. So how far can I move to the Karen?
I'd say you could get within range of your greatsword if that's what you're thinking. Like you can get about 5 feet away.
That's all I've got here, so yes. All right, so I will get close and swing my greatsword to see if it can have any effect on a dust cloud.
All right, make an attack roll.
All right, here we go. 17.
So 17. So you definitely make contact. You drive that greatsword right through the face of the Karen as it turns and spins around to leer at you. And as you were concerned, the dust just apart as the sword swings through and reforms back together. And you seem to have done no damage whatsoever to this dust cloud Karen.
All right. Well, I'm not sure how much I can get away with, but can I sheathe my sword, pull up my shield, and just start waving at it.
That's a lot to get into one turn. I'll let you
I
sheathe
did
your
wonder.
sword. You can sheathe your sword, but the waving of the shield would have to be a different turn.
All right. Can I at least equip my shield?
Yeah, I thought you already had it equipped.
Well, I'd put it away to grab the great sword.
Oh, okay.
Which is why the spoons hurt so badly.
Yeah, I'll let you equip it as a bonus action. Sure.
All right. Shield it is.
All right. And at the end of your turn, the Karen Mist is going to make another legendary action. Lazuli, I'd like you, please, to make a wisdom saving throw as it locks eyes with you and uses its spirit sap ability.
Constitution saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw, please.
Why is my wisdom so low? Well, it's a 12.
As it looks at you, you feel joy and comfort just begin to ebb away.
Oh, no.
Life seems less colorful. Your heart feels less joyous. You now have a D4 penalty on any D20 roll you make until the end of your next turn.
All right, if I make it.
And it is now Yuza's turn.
All right. So I guess I will cast Magic Missile.
Okay.
And I think just to feel it out, because I don't want to waste them all if it goes through the Karen, I want to throw one to the Karen, one to the spoons, and one to the knives, and just diversify.
Yeah, right on. Absolutely.
What we're dealing with.
Absolutely. Roll your damage rolls.
Okay. 5, 3, and 2.
Okay. So the first one that hits that collection of spoons, a number of spoons are bent, some are broken and scatter across the back wall. The knives, same thing. You paste a couple of those knives, actually drive them into the stone of the wall, and you see them shaking and trembling, but completely unable to get out. The magic missile did splash against the form of the Karen, which did seem to twist and react. You did seem to do some damage to the dust Karen.
Ooh. Excellent.
Anything else you want to do on your turn?
I'm going to hold my painting in between me and the Karen like a shield and slowly walk. What is it, my 5 feet or whatever that I get? Yep.
All right. So retreating back a little bit from the from this dust Karen, using your shield as a guard. At the end of your turn, it is going to use its final legendary action for this turn, and it is going to make a claw attack against Lazuli, who is right there. That is only a 9 on the die, though, so I think that claw attack is going to miss you, Lazuli.
Oh, quite a bit. Yes.
And that brings us to Gaelish.
Okay. What I think I want to do, I have a theory that this is all connected with Sticky and what's I think we need to bring joy to Sticky somehow, because I think it's related to this stuff. So I don't know how to do that without food. So I think what I want to do is try and put one of my good berries on his, does he have a spoon? I'm picturing him eating cereal almost.
Yeah.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe. Yeah, cereal or soup or something. I mean, there's nothing in there, so it could be anything like that.
I want to see if I put a good berry on it, if that will make some sort of change for him. So that's what I want to do.
Yeah. So you run up, you drop a good berry on the spoon. As soon as it hits the spoon, you see the color blanch out of the good berry. It is now just a gray, like it's a piece of fruit that's been macerated too long, and is just gray and dead. And it goes robotically into his mouth, and he kind of mushes on it, and nothing happens.
Oh man. Okay. Do we see any cooking stuff around? We have a fire.
The fire was a cook fire. So yeah, there do seem to be some pots and pans and cooking implements there. Yeah.
Okay. Does it have any food? Can I see that there's any food over there?
You can see no food there.
Okay.
And you've already taken an action this turn with the good berries.
Yeah,
Is there anything else you want to do?
I'm preparing for next time.
Right on.
I think I'm at the point where I only have one action per turn, so I think that's all I can do. I don't want to move away from him yet.
Okay.
So I'm gonna make that my turn, I think.
All right. So sticking by Sticky. So the Karen mist, having been hit by that magic missile, turns back to you, Yuza. And tries to rake its claws across you. But that is only a 10. No, I'm sorry. It's a 12 against your armor class.
It's a tie, so I think it hits.
Tie does hit. So from the claw, you take 6 points of slashing damage. And as happened to Lazuli, you guys see the claw rake open Yuza's sort of doughy form. And you can now see a golden light starting to shine out from her from some of those deeper cuts. And that is the Karen's turn. So now we come back to these swarms of cutlery. The one that got the spoons that got pretty badly hit are now swarming in. The closest, actually, they're going after Yuza, so they're coming into you, Yuza. Is only that's a 6 on the die. So, yeah.
Oh, thank the Lord!
Yuza, what did you do to escape the spoons?
I think I'm just bent over in pain from the claw attack.
The timing of the claw was just perfect. You bend over, and you hear the spoons fly over your head. Lazuli, the knives are coming after you.
I have my shield.
That is a 20 on the die roll. Does it? Not a natural 20, not a critical. Does a 20 hit you?
Regrettably, yes.
All right, so you take from the spoons another 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Well, dash it all.
And that does bring us now, Lazuli, to your turn.
All right. So I liked how Gaelish was thinking. We need to bring Sticky joy, and if these paintings clearly have joy for each of us, that makes me think the braced width one would bring Sticky some joy. But now I have to figure out how to disengage and get it and come back. If I disengage...
You take the disengage action.
Yes. What? I've never done that before. How do I do that?
You just say that you take the disengage action. You can't take an attack this turn, but it does mean that you can slip past creatures without them attacking you.
Yes, that right there. Yes.
All right, so you disengage and you race to the door, and there's no handle on this side.
Can I take my great sword and just pound that door?
You can try next turn, but you took your action to disengage.
Yes, no, that's fair. All right. Dash it all.
Anything else?
What? Don't I get a bonus action? Yes.
You could action surge with your bonus action.
I could action surge, but I'm starting to think maybe that's not the right way to bring you joy. Oh. Well, I'm going to try anyway. Action surge it is.
All right. Go ahead and make an athletics check to see if you can pry that door open.
With disadvantage.
With disadvantage, yeah.
18 with disadvantage.
The door does not budge.
What the holy hay? Oh, I don't like, but all right. Lazuli is very frustrated.
Is there anything else you wanted to do? I think you've done action and a bonus action. I'm not sure there is much else you can do.
Can I speak?
Sure.
Can I shout at Sticky?
What would you like to shout?
Sticky, dear friend, you are loved. That's it. That's the whole speech.
It is as if he can't hear it.
Yes,
he doesn't seem to respond.
It was worth a try.
It
All
was.
right.
At the end of Lazilee's turn, the Karen Mist gets another legendary action and unforms and reforms next to Lazilee.
Of course she does.
And that brings us to Yuza.
So the Karen's not that close to me anymore.
No.
I'm going to disengage and run behind the fire and eat my little good berry.
Okay. So you gain 1 hit point of healing from your good berry.
Every little bit helps.
That was your action. Was there anything else you wanted to do?
I'm also going to yell at Sticky to wake up. Wake up, Sticky!
Doesn't seem to have any effect.
What's the fire like since I'm right by it?
It is, you feel the heat from the fire. You see the smoke coming off it, but the color, as is everything in here but you guys, is completely washed out.
This is the saddest fire I've ever seen.
It is. Anything else, or does that end your turn?
I think that's it.
All right. So at the end of Yuza's turn, the Karen will take a legendary action and will try a claw attack against Lazilee. Only a 9 on the die roll, though. So it scrapes off your shield.
Lady.
And that brings us to Gaelish.
Okay. So we have people already shouting at Sticky.
Mm-hmm.
To no avail.
And I tried to feed Sticky.
Maybe take the axe out. I don't know anymore.
Can I try that?
Sure, of course you can.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm going to reach over and try and take it out of him.
Sure. So you reach over, and it's initially tough, right? Because it's like pulling a knife out of bread dough, but you yank it out, and you see the gaping hole that the axe has made going into what should be his heart, and there's just nothing there. It is this empty space inside him.
This feels hopeless.
Okay, that's creepy. I guess I'll Sticky? Are you even really sticky? My God. Okay.
And he seems unfazed. He's still doing that mechanical, just sitting there.
Can I take a piece of myself off of myself and make it into a heart and stick him inside him?
That's brilliant. I was going to suggest that, Gaelish.
You did your action, but you could try that next turn.
Okay, I think I'm going to try that next turn.
Okay. At the end of Gaelish's turn, the Karen Mist does have one more legendary action. The removal of the axe seems to have caught the Karen Mist's attention, and it unforms by you, Lazilee, and reforms right next to you, Gaelish. And it is now its turn, and it reaches out to you with its open maw, attempting its draining bite on you, Gaelish. And that is that is a 23 against your armor class.
Yeah, I'm a 12, so.
Yeah, I rolled pretty badly, though. You only take 4 points of necrotic damage.
That's. I'll take what I can get.
Okay. And that is the end of the Karen Mist's turn, which brings us to the top of the order. I forgot to do the lair actions last round, but I'm not forgetting this time.
So sad.
All of you, this foul, this whole situation is so depressing, as you've mentioned, that you all feel you all feel a staleness in the air as the sort of decrepitude of this space begins to affect the dough forms of your skin. And you notice, all of you begin to notice sort of flecks of hardening dough spreading across your skin. I would like everyone, please, to make a strength saving throw.
Sticky, or Max, I just realized you had given me a -4 something, and we've never taken that into account on anything.
It reset at the end of your next turn.
Thank
So
the
you don't have
Lord.
it anymore.
All right.
You don't have it anymore.
That's an unnatural 20 for me.
You're fine.
13.
13 is fine.
8 for Gaelish.
Gaelish, you are not able to physically muster the strength to push past this crust that's starting to form on you until the end of your next turn. You are restrained, which means you cannot move. Any attack rolls against you have advantage, and any attack rolls you make have disadvantage.
Oh,
and now it is, cutlery.
Someone sounds a little too happy about that.
A hail of forks is coming at Gaelish.
Oh, dear.
This is an attack with advantage. Gaelish, that is a 19 against your armor class.
It hits.
And you take 5 points of piercing damage as these forks plop into Gaelish's form. And as those forks break Gaelish's skin, as with the rest of you, some golden light is beginning to emanate out of those puncture marks in Gaelish. The second swarm of cutlery is coming after Lazuli, and that is a 19 against your armor class.
Yes, that hits.
All right, so the steak knives are coming back for another go, Lazuli. Whoa, the steak knives do 9 points of slashing damage.
Oh,
I'm dead.
Okay, you guys see Lazuli fall. The knives have cut open a space in Lazuli, and you can see now inside Lazuli the source of that golden light. It is an image of her family in her heart, projecting its warmth and light that is still there. And Lazuli, that brings us to your turn. So it is your first death saving throw, please, Lazuli.
Here it goes. Oh, it's a 7. That's a fail.
That is one fail.
One fail.
Yuza, it is your turn.
Well, YOLO. I'm going to run up to Sticky, and I've got the big gash from earlier, so I have light out. So I'm just going to, using my magic, really try to focus on that light and focus on that picture we saw of Sticky's grandmother that had all the color, and shove my hands into the cavity.
So you pull forth from your body, the sort of using your magic to pull that light forth, and coming out of the rips in your body, a little bit of that light comes out and forms in your hand a little bonfire, a little golden bonfire that you shove into that open space on Sticky's chest, and it melts and begins to spread, and a little bit of color comes back to Sticky. His eyes, his brows furrow for the first time. His eyes begin looking around. Now his skin is not ashen gray, but is the very faintest color of pink is starting to come back. His hair, now no longer colorless, is sort of that straw color that blonde hair becomes as it ages. He doesn't seem fully with it yet, but definitely that had some kind of salutary effect.
Thank God.
Anything else you want to do on your turn?
Well done, Yusa.
No, I think that's exhausting enough in my current condition.
Fair enough. And at the end of your turn, the Karen Mist is now definitely taking a legendary action. Having seen you do that, it spins around to you. It was on Galish now, actually. So it's going to have to take its legendary action to smoke step over to you. So it is now looming over Yuza, mouth open, ready to bite. But Galish, it is your turn.
Okay. I think Galish is gonna do something similar and take some of their stuff and stick it into Sticky. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same thing as what Yuza did, but they're doing it with the same intent.
Yeah, so reaching into those wounds that have been created, you reach in and you pull out. Of course, with Galish, it's a little pile of those chestnut-shaped poops that are glowing in your hand, and you shove that into the hole in Sticky's chest, and they settle in and they begin to glow, and his skin comes back. His eyes are beginning to unfog. He's starting to look around. What is going on? I don't feel so good. So it does, again, seem to have had a salutary effect. But that is your turn. Anything else you want to do? I mean, you bonus action or movement?
I don't think I have either one of those.
Yeah, you're restrained, right?
Oh, yeah, you can't move. That's true. You're restrained until the end of this turn. Oh, now she's really restrained.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
The internet was like, I'll see you restrained.
Yeah, the internet is, I heard my cue. Kablam.
Sure. I'll raise you.
So the Karen Mist now continues its bite onto Yuza, trying to bite down onto your form. That is an 11 against your armor class, which I think is a miss, right?
Oh, it is.
Yeah, you're able to it's distracted by Sticky speaking for the first time, turned its head slightly, and you were able to slide out of the way of those jaws, clamping down right next to your body. That brings us to the top of the order. There is another lair action coming, as now the plates and bowls on the table begin to jump up and hurl themselves through space to all of you who remain standing. So Yuza and Galish, I would like you please to make a dexterity saving throw as you try to get out of the way of these plates and bowls.
20.
Rolling.
20 is a success.
21. Or
21.
Are we still rolling with disadvantage?
Not on saving throws.
Okay.
Yeah, 21 as they fly over you, but you duck and dodge and get out of the way as those metallic bowls bash and clatter against the walls behind you. There are two swarms of cutlery that gets turns. One is coming after Yuza, one is coming after Galish. Yuza, that's an 11 against your armor class.
Nope.
And Galish, that is also an 11 against your armor class.
It does not hit.
Yeah, as you continue to duck and bob and weave and they slide around you, that brings us now to Lazuli. Another death saving throw, please.
With bated breath. Oh, gosh. That's a critical fail. That's a 1.
That is a 1. That is
I'm
Lazuli's
dead.
last death saving throw. You guys see the light fade out of Lazuli's eyes, and the spark in her chest, that light is also beginning to dim. Probably one more turn, it will fade completely. Yuza, what are you going to do?
I don't have heals because I love fire. And that's not
to be clear, there is no healing to do.
Okay.
There is no healing to do. The issue is that the shining light within Lazuli, now that she has died, is beginning to dim out.
You
have given yours to Sticky.
Can I call
Ailish has given
on
theirs to Sticky.
Can I call on my magic to try to pull her light toward me?
How?
With Arcana.
Is there a particular spell you're trying to use?
I don't have something for light that I can think of.
Well, let's see what happens. Make your Arcana roll. And remember, you are exhausted, so it is at disadvantage.
Well, we have an 8.
So you let out a blast of flame and fire, which crisps away the dough on Lazuli's body, and you can now see revealed, sitting out in the open, that glowing form of her family beginning to dim. Easier perhaps now to grab, but not closer to you at all. Gaelish, it's now your turn. It is beginning to fade. In moments, it will have faded out.
If I run over there and use Cure Wounds, would that do anything? It says it doesn't work on constructs, and I'm not sure what we are.
Her form is dead.
Yeah, I'm gone, guys. Effect. Just save the memory and shove it in him.
Okay, if that's what you want us to do, then that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run and grab the memory and try and run back and get it into Sticky.
All right. Now, to travel that distance, you'll have to use your action to dash, meaning you can't disengage, meaning the shadow form will get a claw attack as you go by.
Okay.
And that is a natural 1 on the die. As you duck under, you grab the fading form of Lazuli's family, running, diving to cram it in to the hole in Sticky's heart. As that final piece goes in, the color completely comes back to his body. You see the hole begin to stitch up, and Sticky goes, "Oh, my friends, well, you're here. I feel lovely." And the shrieking Karen form turns around, seeing you, goes, "No!" and shrieks at you. And the warmth now of you feel the warmth of the cooking fire begin to spread. Everything is now lit properly. The colors on the floor are proper. The gold and silver of the cutlery is shining. The cutlery clatters and falls to the ground. The shadowy shape of the Karen begins to be driven back against the warmth of the hearth fire, and the light spreads and spreads and spreads, whiting out all of your vision. The smell of food begins to come back to you. There's also sort of a charcoal briquette smell. You hear shouting. You hear children yelling. You hear someone saying, "Yes, I'm the manager. What can I do for you?" You are back in the grocery, standing there, even Lazuli, back as you were before all of this happened. Sticky is still on the ground, but his eyes open.
Oh.
Now, what you don't know is whether he has been, whose side is on. He's been brought back to life. Is he still under the thrall of the Karen? Or have you freed him from that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either. We're going to find out in 2 weeks when Rachanee takes back over, this is where we're ending tonight. Thank you guys all for coming with us on this this wonderful, terrifying ride through the fetid food swamp of Sticky's possessed heart. I want to give a final shout out to Audiobook Empire for sponsoring our first season, and a massive thank you to Spencer Dillahay, the man working the tech behind the scenes. Without his help, none of us would be here tonight. No. So hats off to Spencer Dillahay. Please do not forget to subscribe to our channel, click that bell for notifications, all that good stuff. We will be back not this next Wednesday, but in 2 Wednesdays. Our next show will be April 19th. Please give us a follow online. We're on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook as @PunchNRoll, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.